big news is coming in on IndusInd Bank. Reports say that Reserve Bank has urged IndusInd Bank top bosses to exit after accounting lapses. We have Vishwanath Nair joining in with more details on this. Vishwanath, please take it away.
Right, Himashi. So what we understand as of now is that some news reports are suggesting that the RBI has told the IndusInd Bank CEO and Deputy CEO, Sumant Kathpalia as well as Arun Khurana respectively, to step down as soon as the board finds replacements for both of them. Of course, remember that these are news reports that are coming in from an external news agency. According to this, as soon as the replacements are finalized, both these people will step down from the bank. Having said that, now sources we can confirm at NDTV Profit is that the RBI is very clear that the board has to send in the names of potential appointees at these positions by September or so, September or October, because it would take about 6 months or so for the RBI to decide who exactly will succeed Sumant Kathpalia and Arun Khurana at IndusInd Bank. And once that decision has been made, it will be sent to the RBI for approval. And once the RBI approves it, then the change will happen. Of course, as soon as the change happens, both these people will have to step down from their positions. What we understand is that the RBI's messaging has been very, very clear from the beginning that if the RBI is giving only shorter tenures to any official at a bank, then it's very clear that the RBI is unhappy with the performance of that person. And the RBI wants the board to then figure out who the alternative CEO of that bank should be and send in names. Now, the bank has the freedom, the bank's board has the freedom to decide whether these are going to be external candidates or internal candidates. And depending on the names that they send, the RBI will do its own fit-in proper checks on these people and then decide who fits the bill best. It is also possible that the RBI rejects all three names that the bank's board sends. These are all common processes that happen with every bank every bank appointment. And that's exactly the process that will be followed by RBI in this position. What the RBI is also waiting for is for the accountability exercise at IndusInd Bank to be concluded. Remember that last evening, IndusInd Bank released an exchange notification where they said that an external agency has been appointed to conduct, among other things, checks on the accounting standards at the bank, whether there was any lapses in the accounting process, and who is responsible for these lapses. This external agency will submit its report, and on the basis of what the board accepts and sends to the RBI will decide on further course of action. If there is any lapses that are found in this entire process, then the RBI will take strict action against the people involved. That is what our sources are telling NDTV Profit, Makshi.
Right, Vishwanath. And also, what does this mean, talking about the future aspects of it? What does it mean for the company? Because it has seen a lot of turmoil in the past. So what does this imply?
Well, there's really no implication here. I mean, if the CEO has to step down, the CEO has to step down, and a new CEO will have to be appointed at the bank. Once that entire process of transition happens, then of course we'll have to see how the bank takes away from these allegations of impropriety or allegations of any accounting lapses or allegations of any governance issue at the bank. All of these things, it will be very interesting to see how the new management or the new CEO at the bank will tackle these issues. But remember that at this point in time, the focus is on finding out the size of the problem, which PwC as an external agency is already doing. Apart from that, there is another external agency which will do the accountability check of this entire issue. That will be a separate report that will come in after the PwC report. And on the basis of that, there will be more action against the bank. But do expect a lot of negative sort of viewpoints on how the bank is actually going to play out in the markets on Monday. You should expect some amount of volatility at IndusInd Bank.
Right, Vishwanath. I'm sure, Monday will be a very deciding day as to how the stock will react to this particular news. And I'll also like Mr. Chokalingam's view on it since he's there on the show with us. Mr. Chokalingam, how do you see this affecting, the company, and what does this really mean for retailers like, investors, for like you and me who are watching, this news breaking?
Yeah, actually, this is a really unfortunate development for the bank. The magnitude of the discrepancy which they fail to notice is really tough to accept, and the market has amply punished. Apparently, it looks attractive. It is less than the one-time adjusted book value, but the point is that you have a historical precedence where whenever such issues happened, they fell even below book value, and the re-rating never happened in such banks. So, considering this latest development further, I would suggest wait for more clarity, because if you look at institutional holding, it's almost more than 65% in the whole bank, including foreign investors and domestic institutional investors, as well as corporate body. The problem is, if there is any more allegation or any discrepancy is proven, then these institutional investors and corporate bodies, they can simply dump the stock. So therefore, retail investors can wait for the dust to settle down and more clarity to come in, rather than trying to do bargain buying on Monday.